Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you all hear me? I'm not sure if you could hear me. If you can hear me, please. Okay, I see some thumbs up. I hope you're having a nice week so far and a nice beginning of the year. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for your time. And our speaker is joining soon. So please behold. If anyone wants to say hi, meanwhile, please go ahead. Hi. Hello, Milena. How are you?
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
So, we have our speaker here. Thank you so much for joining us, Owner, and I'm happy to see you.
Me too.
And I will leave you the floor. So everyone, I just want to say that we have a great presenter for today, and I will leave the floor for her. Um, before we go with your presentation, Owner, would you please check if you're able to share your screen?
I cannot. I think I don't have authorization, so you just give me that.
Okay,
It's not
I'm
active.
I'm just going to do so. You have it now.
Okay. Let me try.
Meanwhile, I see some people are joining now. Hi, everyone. Just a couple of minutes and we will start. Hi, Gabriela. Happy to have you again. Hi, Jayla. Hello from Women for Cyber Germany. All is good,
Yeah.
Honor?
Yeah. Can you see right now?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Just let me make it, yeah, presentation mode. How
Yeah,
is it
it's
right now?
presentation mode now. Yeah. So I'm going to mute myself, leave the floor to our wonderful presenter. Um, and here we go.
Thank you very much. And so sorry about the delay. You know, it's always happening with the link problem. So let's start with that. Actually, I just want to say hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. We are here to talk about digital trust in AI era. Of course, you know that everything's about AI right now, and we will talk about challenges and opportunities for the business leaders. And I just want to say that this is not just a technology talk today. This is a leadership talk. So we will touch different base, not from legal perspective and technical perspective. We will touch some leadership perspective too. So because of AI, no longer something happening in labs and innovation hubs. This is already shaping our decisions are made, our social life, how risks are taken, how people are managed, how trust is built or lost between organizations and the society. And when we talk about digital trust today, because it's a fancy wording, digital trust, and we are talking about something fundamental, just think about that. Why customers trust us, why regulators tolerate us, why employees stay with us, and why society allow us to operate at scale. So today we will just try to touch why digital trust has a strategic business issues today, and why many leaders feel unprepared for AI era, and how we can move forward way that both bold and responsible. So let's start with that, and let's going another one. And let me introduce myself briefly, because I know that most probably we know each other on LinkedIn or the social medias, but I just want to introduce myself briefly.
Honor, I don't want to interrupt you, sorry. It's just that your presentation is no longer in presenter mode.
Okay.
Thank you.
I am trying, Manal, but it stays like that when I am just trying to change the slides. Is it problem if we use
No,
that
no,
in the...
we can definitely keep it that way if it's
Okay,
not working.
lovely. Okay,
Yeah.
lovely. Thank you. So, I'm joining from Dublin today. This is Onur Korucu, and I'm both a qualified engineer and lawyer with LLM and information technology law degree. Furthermore, I just try to enhance my leadership profile with an executive master's in business analytics from University of Cambridge. And today I will try to share my perspective on both as a technology engineer and as a technology lawyer, bridging these two different worlds. I began my career in professional services companies such as KPMG and PwC, leading cybersecurity and privacy teams, and later I continued with Avanade and Microsoft. Today, I serve as a non-exec director and managing partner in different companies focused on privacy, security, and AI. And also, I am teaching as a lecturer in universities in UK and Ireland. And I got lots of advisory board roles in different communities like IAPP. It's one of the biggest community around the world for privacy, and that kind of communities like ISACA. So there are lots of people around the world just trying to touch, learn, and understand, each other. So happy to be together today with you. So let's jump on the topic. We've got really big agenda. So maybe we can start with that. Let's start with a broader context. You know that this is we are at the beginning of 2026, so lots of things happen in 2025. So maybe we can say AI is no longer only headline. We are now seeing a rise of agentic AI too. Systems don't just analyze information, but plan, decide, and act. These are not tools. These are increasingly becoming a virtual coworkers. So it means that it is very obvious it is not just AI, just a technology in our life, in our social life, in our business life. It is a new co-workers. It is a new friend. It is a new family member for us. So it means that, yeah, in many years, we are always trying to handle and understand and try to prepare new rules and frameworks to manage cyber security, privacy, data protection, GRC, but that kind of technologies like AI, quantum computing, and machine learning, these technologies are game changers. And we generally trying to govern that size technologies, but it's so obvious that in natural way, these kind of technologies never invented to govern. So it is really hard to manage and understand the real and the basic fundamentals that kind of technologies. So at the same time, we are seeing advances in robotics, autonomous systems, and quantum technologies too. So just think about this is woman for cyber community. So I believe in that lots of you touch different areas like cryptography and security. So for example, quantum computing with AI, its implications are enormous. So we will talk about next 5 years, mainly about that kind of topics, because there are lots of research in very major universities around the world right now. So what all these technologies have in common is this. They are scaling faster than our governance models, our leadership skills, and organizational cultures. So what does it mean? In the past, you know that there are lots of new joiners in business life and maybe some leaders among us today. So in the past, we generally talking about bridging different teams, understanding in other service lines and organizational cultures. So today, we just try to, um, can you can hear me, isn't it? The connection problem I see. Yeah, okay. So it means that when we talk about in the past about cultural problems in organizations, we generally trying to understand what people thinking about, what is the main issues or efficiencies and the sustainabilities and kind of things. But in today's world, we are talking about agentic AI. So it means that they will in the future just trying to replace some repetitive and dummy work with the not human beings, with the robots and the AI machines. It is very obvious. But I hate that kind of questions. Every day they're just putting that kind of very spectacular headlines in the magazines, and they're just saying that we are losing our jobs. In the future, robots will take everything from our hands. No, it's not like that, actually. Especially, most probably, you heard lots of things from World Economic Forums this year in Davos. And in Davos, Elon Musk just mentioned that in the future, in the near future, we will see lots of robots in our life, and most probably, robots' population will be more than human beings' population. From my perspective, and if you ask any high level, C-level people in the business life, most probably they will give back to you this answer. It's not the near future. Because we generally trying to, first of all, prepare the world and the environment, then we will try to create technologies. So I think it was a great example. I don't know if anyone among us today, joining from UK, for example, UK just try to solve the problems about Grok. Grok is prepared by, again, Elon Musk's companies. It's an AI application. And suddenly we understood that there was lots of privacy concerns and maybe we can say, the band issues. So suddenly it was obvious because I don't know how many years, maybe 5 years, we can say we talk about privacy by design, security by design. We always trying to find different kind of descriptions about that kind of stuffs. But the main question, where was it? Where was privacy by design? Where was security by design? Because suddenly we understood that from US, they are creating, in maybe we can say in US, they create an in new platform and infrastructure area for AI. And suddenly they created all different kind of AI applications in our life, daily applications easily, and without questioning governance problems, without questioning privacy concerns, and without questioning data security issues, they launched everything. And right now, after all these communities, all these people used that kind of applications and understood the problems about our human rights issues, they try to bend it. So, it's a wake up call for us because that in the history, in the near history, we saw lots of examples from undemocratized countries. They just try to bend everything on internet and they thought that it is a solution, that kind of problems. But you know what? This is not working like that. So maybe we can say this is a big crossroad for us right now. And today, rapidly evolving, increasingly competitive landscape, organizations can no longer treat digital innovation as a luxury or a sliced function. It has become an essential component of sustainable success, a well necessity for every enterprise aiming to stay relevant, efficient, competitive. So strategy is not simple about incorporating new technologies or digitizing isolated process. Rather, it represents a foundational shifts companies operate, deliver value, and pursue growth. And if we just look at this slide in here for the C-suites, so in here you can see that C-suite executives needs to ask right questions of themselves and their teams. They need to ask only about the strategical options AI can create, but also can make AI risky and what types of risks they need to consider when deploying AI. What is the biggest problem right now from C-level seats? When you enter any boardrooms, you generally meeting or sitting together the people who are older than 60s. And when you try to understand their reflex for any technologies, they generally sharing their ideas with very old version approaches. This is the problem right now, because in the past, maybe we are saying generation gaps or the, generation jumps in 2 years, 30 years, sorry, 20 years, 30 years. But right now, in this world, generation gaps means that just 5 years, 2 years sometimes. So that is why it is really important to listening and understand different generation needs, priorities, and the requirements from technologies. So from C-suite perspective, this one is one of the biggest problem, because we generally in the past just trying to understand issues from the financial perspective and just trying to solve issues without understanding the real fundamentals of technology, because all C-level people always thinking about that. Oh, we've got engineers who can solve these problems. Oh, we've got lawyers on another side, they can handle the problems, but it is not working like that. In today, if you want to invest in any technologies like AI, quantum computing, whatever, think about that. You need to create a big infrastructure and you need to align your infrastructure with that kind of solution. So if you have no idea about data protection, if you have no idea about what is going on in the legal base around Europe, around US, around the world, so it means that you have no idea about emerging technologies. So today we've got that kind of very fragile problems in the C-level boardroom. So for example, just talk about that. A complex topic such as implications of AI for business and society, asking the right questions can be important or more important than identifying potentially many right answers, more getting answers to questions. AI requires a multi-phased approach and holistic understanding of AI that spans technical, organizational, regulatory, social, and the philosophical factors. So in here, let's go in other questions together. I want to take a breath and ask to you, how do you feel about AI in here? Because in this technology, most probably all of you, is there anyone virgin of ChatGPT? Most probably everybody using ChatGPT every day, because we are asking, how can I send this email without arguing my co-employees? Or how can, cook this banana bread without burning it? Every day we got somehow questions to AI applications. So the question is in here. How do you recent developments, how do you feel about AI make you feel right now? Just write on the chat. Which one? Are you feeling excited about, opportunities, or consciously optimistic, concerned about risks, overwhelmed, frustrated? You got some C, you got some B. Yeah, C is increasing. Oh, another A. Okay, great. We got a C too. A. I love saying A. Encouraging. And B, yeah, optimistic. Yeah, you're optimistic. A and B. Lovely, yeah. B. You got lots of B then. You got A, B, and C, lots of B and C. Nobody feeling overwhelmed or frustrated. You know what? Let me explain that. These questions is from, well, yeah, you can continue, Manal, because there is no right answers. Everybody can feel at the same time anxious and excited and, optimistic and pessimistic in AI way. Because the main things is, this question was from a Deloitte survey, and when they asked to their clients, you know what? They got 5% of they're angry about AI. That is crazy, because I think this is the thing. From engineering perspective, we generally tend to understand what will happen on the next step, and the opportunities and the innovation is really big excitement to us. But from lawyer experience and perspective, we are feeling very concerned about risks because AI is not just about making our life easier, and they're never trying to use everything a beneficial way to human beings. Just look around you. When we've got a big power in this life, like a military power, generally governments and the countries using that kind of powers, not just in good ways, in bad ways too. So that is why we are feeling everything at the same time. Of course, everybody wants a robot in their home. When you are involving, when you are joining your meetings, somebody just washing your dishes, somebody just cleaning house, just keeping something for you. So that is great. But on the other hand, we've got very main concerns about ethics, bias, discrimination, and we've got main concerns about human rights. So we will talk about a little bit more, but let's continue. Can you? Oh my God, I lost it. Can you see? Okay, lovely. Yeah, World Economic Forums. I think it was a great example. So that is why I want to say something in here, because when we feel angry or anxious or when we had that kind of delusional things, just think about that. Last year, maybe you remember, after Trump government came into force, they sent JD Vane to Davos. And when they talk about EU AI Act and the new AI implications in the business life, in the EU, not in the heart of EU, in the AI Paris summit, JD Vane just criticized about our democratization, and he just mentioned about that. Are you feeling so democratized about all technologies? You know what? You are not. You are just trying to block innovation. Just bear with me because the thing is, nearly 1 year. Every day in EU, they just try to prepare EU liability directive to support EU AI Act. And they put in force at the beginning of last year. After JD Vane criticized our democratization systems in the middle of EU, suddenly they took back over and they suddenly just trying to stop putting in force the directive. So what does it mean to you? It was meant to us. Governments and the countries chose money over to human rights because nearly 1 year we didn't have any liability directive, and suddenly we have lots of penalties and the AI issues, but we couldn't find who was responsible about that kind of problems. So this year again, we faced with total different scenarios. Let me briefly give some summarize about what happened in there. What we watched in Davos this year felt like a dialogue, like a theatrical stage. And I think there wasn't lots of dialogues, there was lots of monologues because lots of countries just trying to reflect their approach and their angles to the world. Suddenly, I think it was the most honest moment to me because the Canadian Prime Minister remarked that one does not need to be head of state to travel to Davos to understand what's happening. Perhaps that was the most honest moment of the week. So, just we can say last year, with the inability to take firm stand as consequences, what we are witnessing today is a reminder that EU's strength has never come from drafting towards tyranny, but from its commitment to international law, sovereignty, and democratic values. So that means that today, from cybersecurity, from privacy, from governance, from regulatory perspective, US, China, and EU got total different kind of priorities, and they just try to get in power and they are coming together. They are just trying to coming together. So maybe we can say in here on the slide, you can see, so we've got trust is competitive edge because reinforced by EU initiatives like EU Inc., you know that, because they're just trying to aiming to enable European tech companies to compete globally while ensuring ethical and democratic AI deployment. And we are calling it trustworthy AI, you know that, because in EU, our priorities was like that. Well, suddenly last year we forget about everything because everybody thought that if we are aligning together with US, maybe it's a perfect, feature steps in economical way, but it wasn't. So another one is AI value is stalling due the lack of readiness and governance democratization of access. So technology exists, but leadership, culture, and regulatory alignment are lagging. And another one is digital trust is fundamentally governance issues highlighted by Europeans' push for digital sovereignty, moving critical workloads to local providers and creating Eurostech. Eurostech is independent technologies. And another one is that ethics and trust are now business enablers, not blockers, with EU frameworks like EU Ying, embedding ethical AI, transparency, and accountability as a competitive differentiates. So if we compare in here, you can see different countries because in here, with the different colors, they're just trying to show back to you which countries got AI regulations. Every day it's increasing, every day it's changing, of course. But the main issues right now, all these countries, I'm not talking about, of course, EU and aware countries, but in other countries, just right now, aware about what kind of problems we will have in the future if we cannot control, if we cannot govern some issues in AI. So countries around the world are rapidly designing, implementing their own AI governance frameworks. So ranging compressive legislations to sector-specific rules, national AI strategies, voluntary principles, and technical standards. There is no universal model. So if anyone asked you, can we centralize AI in any companies and countries? The answer is no. There is no but. It's just no. You cannot centralize anything like that. So there is no universal model, and each jurisdictions is moving or is its own shape, paced by local priorities and risk appetite and cultural expansion. So it means that every country has its own legal requirements, cultural norms, and the enforcement of priorities. Today is Data Privacy Day around the world, and I just want to say that to you. There are lots of very universal definition around the world. If you ask, for example, what is this? Around the world, people, sometimes you can get the same answer. Privacy or that kind of definitions, that kind of terms, never like that. Because if you ask what is privacy in Germany, for example, you will get another answer. If you ask this question in Missouri, for example, in US, you will get another answer. So cultural norms and enforcement priorities, everything changing our understanding from that kind of terms. So privacy is one of them. AI governance is one of them. That is why I'm saying there is no centralization. We have to understand our way. And if human beings and human rights is a priority to you, you have to follow this way. So we understood from World Economic Forums this year, EU just trying to do this year because they remembered that we are the lawmaker. We are, maybe say that the protectors for human rights. So that is a good thing for us. So that is why this is the hardest part, not exist AI regulation, but the fragmentation, we can say. So in this slide, you can see that I just try to summarize everything because digital trust isn't one size fits all concept. It's shaped by regions, legal frameworks, cultural expectations, levels of digital maturity. And here, if we just trying to, summarize everything in this context, digital trust becomes deeply cultural and political. In Europe, trust is about transparency, fairness, and human dignity. In US, it is about performance, reliability, and no, not human, the mission control, we can say, because they generally focusing on the financial areas. And in China, it is about the state-led coordination and infrastructure influence. You can see in here because in US, one speed, innovation, and private sector strength, and they're calling it winning AI race. It means that produce it without control something. Just try to be a sector leader, because if you can be a sector leader, it means that you will earn the first money income. But in China, it is totally different because they are very conservative and they just try to control their people very strictly. So they're calling it Global AI Governance Action Plan. You know what I think? You know, I never, supporting that kind of undemocratization way. But after all, China prepared a very good one. Hopefully, in EU, we will find a balance between all different frameworks together. I love this slide. This slide is just, summarizing everything. AI, ethics, innovation, and dilemmas. All year long, every day, maybe before AI, we talked about mainly biases, diversity problems, the data democratization issues we couldn't solve. But suddenly, we have another giant game changer came into our life, like AI. And today, we are still struggling that kind of problems. So I think in here, the issues in ethical way, uh, maybe we can say I think it's in a positive way. I'm saying that today we just try to blame lots of applications, AI applications, and in other technologies. But after all, AI is working with data, the bunch of data groups, and they generally trying to understand the historical data and then analyze it, and then they just trying to create new data to back to us. We are calling this kind of data, in privacy way, we called this synthetic data, but right now we are calling infrared data. Infrared data means that, for example, just think about that. We got lots of audience in here, Manal, for example. It's just trying to understand Manal's data from the smartphone or whatever you are using like a smart device, and then it's creating another digital Manal and then just trying to give back to you understanding the digital manuals, understanding the digital manuals characterization. So that is why there is a big dilemma, because we created all this data together in the historical story, and today we are blaming to AI applications. Oh, how can you make all these diversity problems or the bias problems? No, we did it. That is why we really afraid what is happening right now around us. So this is one of the problem. But another dilemma. Uh, Today, if you want to get a good service from any AI application, we generally asking to AI tailor-made services. You know that we just want to got that kind of service like that. Oh, on a wake up, this is your work time. Or on a drink your water because your health is important. Or on a send some message to your husband because this is shopping time or whatever. Just think about very individual, very, very, very personal information we are sharing. But on the other hand, GDPR always, suggesting and recommending to us data minimization, make data minimization, don't share your information if you don't need to share. So how can we get a good service without sharing our individual information? Or how can we secure our information and data if we share everything, that kind of very AI-based applications? This is one of the biggest dilemma right now, and we are calling it in Business Life security problems. And that is why today lots of countries, lots of governments just trying to ban some applications. And another one is trustworthy AI, bridging the ethic gap surrounding AI, explainable, fair, responsible, robust, reliable, accountable. most probably you remembered all that kind of aspects from GDPR, because when when they when lawmaker prepared EU AI Act, they generally based on GDPR, but it's another wake-up call because GDPR never meets every problems AI kind of technologies. So what we are expecting for this year and the next year, most probably we will have lots of new directions and the directives to support EU AI Act, and we will see this kind of new acts to manage the data transfers to or data sharings to AI applications. And another one, I think this is the most important one to me, data democratization. In today's world, just think about that. We're just trying to create a new gut version of AI, and we are calling it superintelligence, which can understand everything better than us, which can seize, which can solve problems, which is better than us. So it means that we are creating a new gut version of technology together. But if you are creating this kind of very important technological implications, you have to embed, listen, and understand all the data, not just the minority groups, not just the small geographical people groups. You have to listen everyone. But in today's world, it's so obvious that we are talking about robotics, we are talking about AI applications, but around the world, lots of countries still struggling about uh, lack of internet problems. So it means that we are not hearing all the voices. So if you just listen some groups and create it kind of technologies, in the future it means that you are just fragmented world into different slides. So it is another future problems. So I just want to say that data democratization is really important. Hopefully in the future we will handle this one together. And rethinking defensive and offensive strategies. So it means that, as I asked to you, my first polling questions, how you are feeling about AI developments. Are you defensive and offensive? This is the main understanding right now, because defensive technologies, defensive approaches are not working in these kind of worlds. You have to be proactive. You have to be offensive. That is why privacy by design, security by design, ethics by design, all that kind of models are really important. There are lots of AI applications and platforms on the way because there are lots of gray area, gray zones in the EU AI Act and directives. So lots of producers finding that kind of gray zones and launching their applications like Grok, and suddenly we are getting very serious people problems, privacy problems, or human rights problems. So that is why we cannot say you have to be defensive, you have to be reactive. No, you have to be proactive. You have to understand, first of all, what is going on, what is the risks in AI applications, and after we can launch everything. And if we continue in other slides, I have another question to you in here. The question is, what is currently driving AI decisions in your organization? You are working in different organizations, so most probably they're just trying to embed different kind of, way AI into your service lines, into security, privacy, governance area, sales, procurement, sky is the limit, just think about. So why they are doing that? Because of speed and competitive pressure, because of cost and efficiency, or because of innovation and experimentation, because of risks, trust, and governance or compliance, because we have to. So what is your answer? This time I cannot see any answers. My chat doesn't working, but let me.
So we have D, We have B and C, again D and E, A, just one A, more of B and C, another A plus C,
Okay, we got lots of
another,
different answers. Yeah,
yeah, another A plus C.
that is great. That is great.
We have B, C, and E.
You know what? Generally, around me right now, of course, for example, A or the B is not the right answer in here, but companies always trying to, catch the trends. So they just want to find the efficient way to understand AI, to embed something into their systems. So because of that, they are thinking that like competitive pressure is big for them because if you're a customer, you're generally asking to your, third parties or when you just try and get any service, any companies, oh, are your applications, are your, productions are AI based, AI enhanced, AI empowered? We generally asking the company. So that is why all these companies just trying to way to, embed something into their systems and they're calling it AI based systems. So the biggest the concerns for us from the the fact the reality risk trust and governance because yeah innovation and experimentation is important but we are not embedding AI systems into our business life just understand oh what is going on in AI and innovation and because we have to it's not an answer but the most important things in here still trust, governance, and transparency, and maybe we can say understanding the accountability and liability. So, what is next? We talk about lots of different things today from AI perspective, but what is next? Because we got EU Inc. and uh, Ursula von der Leyen just mentioned in Davos, she just said it. We will treat all EU technology companies like Microsoft, like Google, like Amazon. So it means that we will have lots of that kind of that prestigious level of EU technology companies. Hopefully, we will see. But it is very obvious that they created lots of different lines that technology companies to us, but just one example to you. I love to share that one because at the end of 2025, maybe you know Johnny Ive. Johnny Ive is the one of the genius designer from Apple. You know that everyone using that smartphones and we are swiping. He created that movements. So they came together with OpenAI and they prepared a small movie to us and they shared on the internet. And they just said to us, in 2026, we will have another AI based device, a must have device. Just think about today, you have smartphones, your tablets, and laptop. Just think about that. Three must have devices and they just said that you will have another one and it is just acting like that it can see on behalf of you it can understand on behalf of you it can experiment on behalf of you so I am really so excited to see what is happening about that so we will see there are lots of what is next answer but my question is what is next to you. Which technology development excites you most about future? I just try to put here different answers. Of course, if you have another idea, just share with us on the chat. The A is AI reshaping our daily lives and habits. It's just most probably you watch these her kind of movies. So it means that we are having new digital friends, digital, you know, parents, digital boyfriends, girlfriends. So AI reshaping our daily lives and habits and the needs. And another one is emerging tech revolutionizing about healthcare, making disease like cancer easier to treat. So healthcare systems, another story. And longevity, of course, lots of rich people around the world focusing on longevity right now, and they are just trying to find different solutions using AI. And smart cities around the world right now, they are putting very big amounts of money for these smart cities. Maybe you heard Neom, especially in the Gulf countries, they are putting really big monies to create it kind of smart cities. And the robots, like Elon Musk just mentioned, we will have lots of robots, maybe more than human beings in the future. So what is your answer? Anna, can you share it?
Yes, so we have A and B, we have C, we have all except for A. We have B, D, B, C, B, D, and E. So popularity is with everything but A, I guess.
Okay, really. Then actually it means that homogeneously we have all the answers. You know what? There is no right answers. I want to see everything. All of these different, options, great. So I think we will see in the very near future some of them in our life, but hopefully for the benefits of humanity, hopefully. And this is my last slide. I love using these slides. I generally nearly 2 years I'm always finishing my presentations with this one because you know that in this world AI regulation will determine who leads the AI race and how ethical that leadership will be. So it means that around the world every day we are using different kind of AIs, different kind of questions in business life, in daily life, in healthcare, in the energy sector, in technology sector, everywhere. So because data is everywhere. So it means that yes, today we are shaping AI together with sharing all that really huge bunch of data. And it's so obvious that AI shaping us back to you because it's not a difference. It's just a reflection like a mirror. You are creating your data, you are sharing with AI, and it is just shaping it and reflecting back to you. So it is not a monster, it is a mirror. So the biggest question today, I want to finish with a question to you. Maybe you can think about that. How can be bold and responsible together? So thank you very much for listening to me. I think we can jump on Q&A session. If you have any question, please just write on the chat. So make it, interaction. If you want to make a conversation, just share it with us.
Thank you so much, Honor. That was great. It's time for Q&As. So if you have any questions, please write them down if you're uncomfortable with speaking, but also just unmute yourself and go ahead. We will leave the floor for answers by our presenter.
Manuel, if anyone writes any questions, I can just see
Yes,
you.
I
So
will.
please read it to me.
Yes, sure. If any questions, I will read them out loud. The questions doesn't have to be related to the presentation if you have anything else. Also, you can just say anything. So we have thank you, great talk. We have thank you very much for the info. Would like to know which websites or news to follow for latest risks and innovations in AI and cybersecurity breaches news.
Okay. Actually, there are lots of news source right now around the world, but I think IAPP, ISACA, they got really big firms, so they generally trying to update every new news and their legislation requirements, and if anything happened major around the world. So please follow these firms, and generally people joining different conversation because they've got conversation rooms in there. For example, if you just want to focus on any specific topics, you can find people in there. They are focusing on the area like you. So I think this is the best way, connecting people around the world. So please do that. And after all, I am one of the author for Harvard Business Review. So there are great in other articles in there too if you want to follow that. So actually, I just try to share sometimes on my LinkedIn different news sources, and I generally sharing different articles. So I don't know if you wanna, just take a look on my LinkedIn. I generally just trying to share if I see something spectacular.
Thank you so much, Owner. We're just have some minutes left. So if anyone else has some questions, observations, remarks to share with the speaker or with everybody else who's participating, please do.
Don't be shy. You can ask whatever you want because it's a very, popular topic, AI. You got lots of different questions. So whatever you
Right.
want to ask, just I will try my best if you want to ask.
So Kavita said, sure, it would be great. I will connect with you. We have from Jayla, in your opinion, how could we achieve governance first approach? I think that as a world, we are very familiar with the potential negative results of new technologies released without the proper regulation assessments, and yet we keep focusing on business and innovation needs.
Yeah, that is a great question. Actually,
Yeah,
right
right.
now, in legal area, in technical area, everybody just trying to find a way how they can protect governance area with that kind of emerging tech. I think the best way right now is creating the sectoral based regulations because especially last year we saw lots of failure about that. Just think about that. If you're an academic institute, you got total different kind of problems if you're using AI, for example. But if you're a healthcare sector institution, you have total different kind of risks. So that is why understanding sectoral risks and sectoral AI implementation problems is the basic solution from my perspective. But after all, everybody needs to understand that because there are lots of AI certification right now. You can see ISO certification, ISACA certification, IAPP create another one, and they generally asking one question and they are giving back to you five different options and you're just answering, but very theoretical way. When you're coming into practical area, for example, when you're just trying to, I remember this information from the certification book. Okay, let's do it. Never works. So this is really important, multidisciplinary work. As a lawyer, I can say that if you are not working together with the software engineers, AI prompt engineers, you cannot understand anything about AI governance issues because creating rules and giving this list to software engineers and just saying, oh, put these rules and embed in the systems, then let's create, AI governance issues in our companies. No, it's not working like that. That is why every day we are just saying multidisciplinary work is important and a must in this era. So you have to work together with your legal team, GRC team, cybersecurity team. If you got an ethicist and understand that kind of problems in your company, you have to work together with them. So I don't believe in that we will lose all our jobs and robots will take everything from our hands because yes, agentic AI creates new employees because there are lots of repetitive work. It's just, clicking some buttons, just create some pivots, Excel pivots. So, you know, I think AI can do that, but after all, we're still trying to understand our observations, our uh, thinking way. So that is why there are lots of new and other jobs is coming. If you are focusing on the big tech companies, they are opening some very different roles right now. Even sometimes without description, you can never understand what kind of this role, what is the expectation about that, what they're just trying to fragment it everything in there. So it means that in the future we will see multidisciplinary work and very sectoral based legislation to solve governance problem. So we will see.
All right. Thank you so much, Honor. And I guess we are coming to the end of our today's um I think we have one more. So I'm planning to work on vibe coding and making and useful app for small enterprises or people? Will it be a good idea to rely as now on vibe coding, giving I'm software developer? Kindly suggest some good vibe coding app in green list for security concerns.
We are doing that. So I just want to be honest about that because in lots of AI companies just doing that. So I think there is no problem because yes, it's so obvious that because coding is still a gray zone, especially in the legislation area, but there is no limitation about that. If you are making everything with the synthetic data, this is okay. If you have no problems about that, if you don't put any that kind of, real life data into your systems when you are trying, that is okay. You can do that because I am on the, for example, the advisor board for privacy engineering in AIPP, and every day we are just trying to give back that kind of facts. If you never tried with the synthetic data in the real life data, you never can solve the problem. So just try it, but just control before launch anything. So just do it. I think it's not the problem. That is why I asked the question, how you feel about AI innovation. If you feel, in a positive and excitement way, go and try it. There is no limitation right now. In the future, I have no idea. Most probably they will put some limitations about that because we've got some problems, but Vibe Code is a good start, so go and do it.
Thank you so much. We are now officially finished with 1 hour webinar. So thank you so much, Honor. I'm really happy to have you. Thank you everyone for participating. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I truly appreciate everyone coming every time to the webinars. I appreciate the community we have. Thank you so much. There is lots of messages saying thank you, Honor. I know you're not seeing the chat, so I'm just telling you. And now I will leave you the final word. And again, we will have another webinar next month. So just follow Women for Cyber Foundation on LinkedIn. You will find always the new dates there. Honor, the last word is for you.
First of all, thank you very much for having me. I just want to, share some hopes for the new year. I know AI is really a hard area for us. We are sometimes feeling angry, sometimes anxious, sometimes feeling lost in our way. But after all, it is a very innovative technology. So I just want to say to everyone, just adopt it. I think the magical word is adaptation for this kind of world. So just don't resist it, just trying to find a way to adapt it. Because if you can be a part of this new era, it means that you are creating in this, world, maybe rule of the world. So I think it's very excited for us, especially from security perspective. It is a play area. So hopefully we will see good things in 2026.
Amen to that. And see you soon, everyone. Thank you so much, Honor, again. And have a good
Thank you
evening,
very much.
everyone. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
There are lots of messages saying thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
All right, Honor, I'll leave you and see you soon. Thank you so much. It was perfect timing, perfect everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manan. Thank you. I cannot see right now. I don't know what is happening.
It's
Everything
people
is
are
gone.
leaving, and I'm going to end the meeting. But
Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you again, and I really appreciate it. And I hope you're feeling better today. And have a wonderful week. And I will follow up with an email later on to just share with you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye, Manan. Bye.